The disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried has signed extradition papers in the Bahamas and will now be flown to the US to face a range of criminal charges. Bankman-Fried was arrested last week in the Bahamas after federal prosecutors in New York filed an 8-count indictment, including allegations of fraud and conspiracy. Michelle Fleury has the latest from New York.
It's been a confusing couple of days. On Monday, Sam Bankman-Fried was brought into the courtroom in the Bahamas, where he was expected to drop his fight against US extradition and be hustled out of the country shortly afterwards. That court hearing, though, didn't go according to plan. Now, local lawyers say the FTX founder has indeed dropped his fight. So, presumably, once the legal hurdles are cleared, he will be on his way to the United States very soon. Why the sudden U-turn on extradition? Well, one theory is that Bankman-Fried was denied bail in the Bahamas. The expectation is that he may stand a better chance of bail in the United States. Remember, that's what happened to Bernie Madoff. That's the notorious fraudster who ran a Ponzi scheme that defrauded investors of billions. He was released on bail before his trial, and I believe that is what his defence team is hoping will happen for Bankman-Fried. He was arrested last week in the Bahamas after federal prosecutors in New York filed an 8-count indictment, including allegations of fraud and conspiracy.
Well, joining us now is Ed Price, principal at Ergo Intelligence. Ed, good to see you. These bankruptcy proceedings are going to be anything but smooth. What do you envisage happening?
Morning, Rich. Well, on the one hand, it seems very simple, right? It's like an old-fashioned case of embezzlement, money laundering, wire fraud, securities fraud. So for anyone watching the news this morning, that seems pretty obvious now. But on the other hand, I mean, you're asking what I foresee. I foresee more confusion. There's $8 billion in losses. There's $3 billion still owed to investors. Where's the money? Where did it go? So I think that those are the sorts of questions that are really going to be front and center, and they are confusing questions.
He's on a plane back to America shortly, but of course, investors around the world, what's the actual process, and are we likely to see people getting their money back?
Rich, I'm afraid not. It doesn't look like it. It looks like that money is gone. I'd be very interested in exactly why and how the money is gone, right? Did it go somewhere else? Was it some of it to do with how crypto assets are quite easily inflated? I'm not sure. But I think one of the implications for your viewers here is other crypto exchanges. Now, crypto exchanges are not like your traditional stock exchanges in many ways, but in one critical way, which is that they hold funds. Now, a traditional stock exchange doesn't do that. So I think one of the things we're going to see here in this process is a big question mark over other crypto exchanges as well.
Well, on that topic, Ed, how has this affected confidence in these other crypto markets? Because obviously there's dozens of them.
Well, confidence looks like it's fallen off a cliff. It does seem that FTX is something that people consider a proxy for crypto itself. That's a bit of a shame, Rich, because there are some actors in crypto who are more responsible and who haven't presumably been acting in the way that FTX has. But of course, markets act, as we know, in a herd-like way. And so this is really being considered something of a signal for crypto itself, for other crypto exchanges. And we've seen that in valuations, we've seen that in prices, we've seen that in turbulence, and I expect to see more.
Is this just a minor blip? Can crypto markets gain people's confidence back?
I wouldn't say it's a minor blip. I would say that this is probably a sea change in how crypto itself is viewed by investors and viewed by markets. Let's not forget as well, Rich, as you know very well, there's a Fed tightening cycle. That is, money is becoming more expensive. That means that there will be less speculation. So I think that those two factors together, this issue with FTX and the fact that now the Fed is recalling demand from the economy, making it more difficult to get your hands on credit, those two together, I think, will mean that people look at crypto a little bit differently now.
Okay, Ed Price from Ergo Intelligence, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.